Does your metabolism feel broken after 40? It didn't die. Menopause moved more fat to your middle, it cracked up your sleep, and it turned up the inflammation. But if you can fix those three, your waist will start to listen. Now, make sure you stay till the end. I'll have a simple checklist so you can follow along. Because here's the fast truth before we get into it. In perimenopause and menopause, belly fat deep inside the abdomen goes up. Sleep gets choppy from hot flashes, and muscle slowly slips. And that mix raises inflammation and makes weight feel stuck. I'm Dr. Yaz, quadruple board certified endocrinologist and obesity specialist. And today we're doing plain talk, steps you can start today with zero guilt. So save this video and send it to a friend who keeps a fan on her purse because the night sweats are no freaking joke. Now, unfortunately, a 35-inch waist is not a fashion line. It flags a higher risk for diabetes and heart disease. So this is about your energy, your focus, your sleep, and your years of life left. So we're gonna fix it in a way you can live with. Let's start with what is actually changed. People tell me, my metabolism crashed at 45, or even as young as 35. And big studies that measure daily energy burn show it stays pretty steady from age 20 through 60. So something else changed. And here's what changed and why the old plan stalls. First, fat moved to your middle. Across the transition, more fat parks deep in the belly, including the kind that wraps around your organs. And that is the stubborn fat that pushes the waistband even if the scale barely moves. It also talks to your liver and your heart and makes blood sugar control harder. Second, your muscles slipped. You may not see it at first. Groceries start to feel heavier, stairs feel taller, and you feel a little weaker at the end of the day, not because you're lazy, but because estrogen fell and muscle is easier to lose. Less muscle means less support for your joints, less power for your day, and a smaller all-day burn because muscle uses energy even at rest. Third, your sleep crack. Hot flashes, night sweats, they wake you up again and again, and the next day you're foggy and snacky. Hunger hormones get louder, and blood sugar swings even more. You feel like your plan fell apart by 10 a.m. Fourth, fat tissue got a lot louder. See, after menopause, fat cells tend to get bigger and the space around them gets stiffer. The tissue sends more stress signals that push insulin resistance. And when that happens, your body clings to energy because it thinks it needs to protect you. And fifth, the gut microbiome has shifted. Many women show lower diversity of gut bacteria, changes in the microbes that handle estrogens. A less helpful mix of microbes can show up as more bloat, more cravings, and more swings in energy. So menopause changed what your body stores, how it rests, and how it digests. So our plan has to match that reality. This is why common advice flops. Eat less, jog more, ignores the muscle loss piece. Long, hard cardio with low protein can leave you drained and cost more muscle. Cutting calories when you sleep is broken and makes cravings louder and makes slip-ups more likely. A day of quick snacks and low fiber feeds the wrong gut signals and keeps the inflammation up. So you did not fail, the plan failed you. So give me 6 minutes and I'll give you the 3 fixes that work together. Here's fix number 1. Keep and build muscle. This week, you will strength train 2 to 3 days a week. You will walk most days. You will eat protein at each meal. And you will keep it simple and you will repeat it. For strength, pick 5 basic moves that cover your whole body. Think chair squats to train your legs. Do wall push-ups to train your chest and arms. Do a hip hinge to train your backside. Do an overhead press to train your shoulders. And do 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 slow controlled reps. Rest about a minute between each of those sets. And if a move hurts, change the angle or reduce the range, or even do it sitting. If a joint does not like a move, swap it for a similar pattern that feels better. And if you're brand new to this, start with 1 set and build up. Set a simple weekly schedule you can win and do. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 20 minutes of strength, 10-minute walk. And on Tuesday and Saturday, take a brisk walk for 20 to 30 minutes, or ride a bike or swim. And listen, if you're not mobile, you can sit in your chair and get one of those sitting ellipticals and just literally sit and do that, completely not weight bearing. But if all you can fit is 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. Consistency wins. Progress slowly so your body adapts without drama. Each 1 to 2 weeks, add 1 or 2 more reps to the set, or add a small more amount of weight, or add a 4th round. And when the last 2 reps feel easy, it's time to move up those weights. That's progressive muscle overload. And if you get sick or you travel, do 1 set of each move and move on. Don't wait for a perfect week. Perfect weeks do not exist. Now, for the protein plan. Eat protein at each meal. I always tell people if it ever had a heartbeat, it has protein. Aim for 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of your body weight per day, unless your clinician told you to limit protein for a different reason. And then divide it into breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you forget at breakfast, catch up at lunch. Good choices are eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and if you like shakes, you can use one as a bridge when you're busy. But you don't need fancy powders to start. Build your plate in an order that keeps you steady. Put vegetables and salad down first, place your protein next, and add a small portion of starch if you're still hungry. If you want bread or rice, have it after your protein and vegetables. That way you're making sure you're at least getting in the protein, which is necessary for that muscle. Now, drink water between meals. You don't need to chug with meals. Why this works? Well, in perimenopause and menopause, the combination of resistance training and aerobic activity improves body composition better than each one alone. And the strength work keeps or adds lean muscle mass while you drop those inches. You're getting stronger, but if your nights are still broken, the plan still feels hard. In the next section, we will fix sleep, so cravings stop running the show. Here's fix number 2. Fix your sleep. When sleep improves naturally or with the right medication, cravings ease, insulin works better, and inch loss gets easier. And we start with simple wins today. Then we use the best therapies if you need more help. This is exactly why I wrote my sleep book, because I found people focused on anti-inflammatory diet so much, but they didn't focus on how sleep completely affects that. See, if you don't sleep, you're going to overeat. You overeat, late night snacking usually leads to a lot of inflammation. So it's super important. Sleep is the most overlooked diet hack in the world. So tonight, set a 7-hour window in bed. Make the room cool and dark. Park your phone outside the bedroom so you're not scrolling at midnight. Skip caffeine after lunch. Skip alcohol close to bed. Alcohol may make you sleepy at first, but it wakes you later and fragments sleep. Take a 10-minute walk after dinner to settle your body and your mind. And wake up at the same time every day. Step outside for 5 to 10 minutes of morning light just to set that circadian rhythm. And if you cannot fall asleep after about 20 minutes, get up and do a quiet task in low light and then try again. But keep the bed for sleep and sex only. Yes, very important. So why does this help? Hot flashes are a major reason for night wakenings in midlife. Better sleep supports insulin sensitivity and a steadier appetite signals. That makes the food plan easier to follow and easier to keep. If habits are not enough, use therapies that have strong evidence. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, also called CBT-I, is the first-line treatment for chronic insomnia, and it teaches sleep timing and habit skills that work without pills and last. So if you can't find a local therapist, ask your clinician for a digital program, maybe like mine, that I'll link here in the show notes, that follows the same exact steps. These programs take a few weeks and are worth it. Also, check for sleep apnea if you snore, gasp at night, or wake up with headaches or have dry mouth in the morning, or feel wiped during the day. See, your risk for that goes up after menopause. So ask for a home sleep study or a lab study. Now, if you have sleep apnea, treatment can change your days quickly. Newer devices are quieter and easier to use, and many women feel better within a week. Now, the medication one-liners for hot flashes that ruin sleep. Estrogen therapy is the most effective treatment for hot flashes as of late. For healthy women under 60 or within 10 years of their last period, benefits often outweigh the risk when the plan is personal and reviewed each year, and long follow-up studies show no rise in overall deaths. So if you don't have a uterus and use estrogen-only therapy, some large studies even show a lower breast cancer and lower deaths from breast cancer compared to placebo. So talk to your clinician. Another option is Veozah. This is a non-hormonal hot flash pill, and let me tell you, I haven't had a patient who has tried it who has not had their hot flashes resolve. This helps hot flashes and helps sleep, and it's not a weight drug. It carries a boxed warning for rare liver injury, so you need liver blood tests before you start, and then monthly for 3 months, and then again 6 months and 9 months after. The usual dose is 45 milligrams once daily. You need to avoid CYP1A2 inhibitor medicines with this drug, and do not use it if you have cirrhosis or severe kidney disease. Now, of course, talk to your clinician because there's so many other options that exist. Your clinician will help you choose based on your health and your other medications. Now, if you're waking soaked and staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., you're not broken, but you are exhausted. And so we're going to get your nights back so your days feel human again. Nights calmer? Good. The last lever of the 3 is your gut. 2 simple food moves that lower daily inflammation so the waste can keep moving in. Here's fix number 3. Feed your gut and lower inflammation. Support your gut so daily inflammation stops getting in your way. There's a reason this is a bestseller on Amazon, and it's because an anti-inflammatory diet or a low inflammatory diet helps. Aim for 30 grams of fiber per day from foods you like. A simple target works, like 10 grams at breakfast, 10 at lunch, 10 at dinner. Good choices are beans, chia, leafy greens, things like this. Now, I also want you to add fermented foods 3 to 5 times per week if you tolerate them. Think yogurt with live cultures, kefir or kimchi or sauerkraut. I want you to move your body every day. Walking absolutely counts. And save ultra-processed snacks for weekends instead of daily. Why this helps? Well, menopause linked to shifts in gut bacteria, including changes in the microbes that handle estrogens and a drop in diversity for many women that mimic those suffering from obesity. A clinical trial found that adding fermented foods increased your microbiome diversity and lowered some inflammatory inflammatory markers. And that is the direction we want. So a better diet quality and daily movement will help quiet stress signals in fat tissue over time. Now, here's a quick fiber cheat sheet so 30 grams feels doable. 2 tablespoons of chia give you about 10 grams. A cup of raspberries gives you about 8. A cup of cooked lentils gives you about 15 grams. And a cup of broccoli gives you about 5. Now, if afternoons mean bloat and snack attacks, you aren't weak. You're underfueled on fiber and running on quick carbs. This is a calm, repeatable way to eat without counting every bite. You've got strength work, better sleep, and a simple gut plan. What to do? First, keep muscle with 2 to 3 days of strength work, daily walks, protein at each meal. Second, fix sleep with simple habit. And if that's not enough, use CBT-I or cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia and check for sleep apnea. And if hot flashes still wake you, talk about estrogen if you're a candidate, or Veozah if you're not, or other medications with your physician. And third, feed your gut with 30 grams of fiber per day and add fermented foods. Move daily and save daily snack foods for weekends. If you're interested in coaching, the link is in the description below. We build your lifts, plates, sleep if needed, and your hormone plans safely. When you use that link, you can also book a free strategy call so we can see if we're a good fit.